Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. Welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by Simple Health, care that fits your life. Simple Health is an easy, convenient, discreet way to have birth control delivered right to your home. No need to wait in lines, no need to wait in doctor's offices. You just fill out an online health form, which is then reviewed by a licensed doctor to see if you're a good fit for birth control. If you already have birth control, then you can be discussed whether that prescription works for you or not. The doctor will then make recommendations, the prescription will be filled, and if you have health insurance, most likely it will be covered. If not, prescriptions start at $15 a month. Absolutely affordable and discreet, and I would have loved something like this when I graduated college. I knew I would no longer have access to my health clinic, and I was really concerned that I would have a lapse in my prescription. If I had something like Simple Health, I wouldn't have had to worry about that. I think it's really important for people to take control of their own lives and have tools to make decisions that could potentially affect the rest of their lives. Follow Simple Health on Instagram to receive the latest news on women's reproductive health. If you'd like to try Simple Health for free, click the link down below or head over to simplehealth.com/Emmy or use the code Emmy at checkout. Big thanks to Simple Health for their continued support. So today I'm going to be making an impossible pie, and why does it have this impossible name? It's because the pie is supposed to make its own crust. There's no rolling of dough, no patting into a pie pan, none of that. You just mixed all the ingredients together in a blender, pour it into a pie dish, and it's supposed to magically, impossibly separate and create its own crust. Boom, right there, right? So I had totally forgotten about this recipe. I first learned about impossible pies in this book, and this is a recipe for an impossible cheeseburger pie. It uses Bisquick, which is a pancake mix that you can find here in the US. And while I was researching different impossible pie recipes, this coconut pie kept coming up, and it doesn't use any kind of proprietary mixes and stuff. So I thought I'd tackle that one first, and if I have any kind of success, I will tackle this one too. There are lots of impossible pies, both sweet and savory, but the coconut one seemed a little bit more classic, a little bit more old-fashioned, and it's called by different names. I've seen it called the Hillbilly pie, I've seen it called Crazy Pie, Crazy Amish pie. So all the recipes seem to be pretty much the same. The one that I'm going to be referencing comes from The Joy of Baking. I put a link down to the original video and recipe down below. Let's go ahead and make this. It's so simple. You don't even need a mixing bowl. You can mix everything in your blender. Of course, if you don't have a blender, a mixing bowl will do just fine. So let's do this. Let me grab my blender. Oh, and if you don't have a blender, a food processor will work as well. Okay, blender. I forgot to get my blender. So my blender lives down here, and I have to move this out of the way. And oh my goodness, and grab my piece there, and then put this back right here, and then move this back right here, and this over here, and yeah. Okay, so blender base is here, and I will plug it into the wall. Oh my God! Okay, make sure the switch is off. Me. So besides wanting to see if this actually will separate and create its own crust, I want to make this recipe because it's so stinking easy. You just dump everything into the blender. 4 eggs. 1 egg. Oh, I feel like the count. I feel like the count. Isn't that funny how things are hardwired? 2 eggs. You know, I used to be kind of scared of the count when I was a kid. I'm like, why do you have those tiny teeth? Why are you obsessed with counting? And why do you have to say each time? Don't know. I was also scared of the guy on the Muppet Show, the really big Sweetums, I think his name was, with the big orange nose and the scary eyes and the snaggly teeth. Right, 4 eggs. The reason why I did the eggs that way is to make sure I didn't have a bad egg. I've only had that happen to me once, but it's good to be sure. 1 cup of sugar. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. I guess this is gonna make the crust. We're gonna add a 1/2 cup all-purpose flour. 2 cups of milk. Whoop. I'm using whole milk. 6 tablespoons of melted butter. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm gonna be crazy and actually measure my vanilla. I never measure it because I just go whoop. 1, 2. Oh, I love vanilla. I remember tasting it as a kid and being just like, what is that? It smells so delicious, but it tastes like garbage. Now we're just gonna whiz it all up. I love this variable speed thing. I mean, oh my gosh. That's nice. I see some flour sticking to the sides. 1 1/4 cups of shredded coconut, and I'm using the sweetened kind. Ah, coconut's so good. 1 1/4. Just give that a little pulse. So that's it. Now I'm going to spray a pie dish. You want a nice deep one. You can also just butter that. Here we go. Whoa, that's full. Ooh, boy. Now we're gonna pop this into a 350-degree oven and cook it for 55 minutes to an hour until the center is set, but still a little jiggly. You can test it with a toothpick. If it comes out clean, it is ready. And then we're gonna allow it to cool. You can serve it warm or at room temperature or cold. So I will come back when this is cooked and cool, and we shall see if it creates its own crust. I mean, how can it? We just mixed it in a blender. Granted, coconut is going to be really light, so I think that's going to make the top layer, but the bottom layer, that's what I'm really curious about. Like, how is this crust going to happen? Let's see. All right, I'll see you, in an hour or so. Okay, pie, do not spill in my oven, okay? Don't do it. Resist the urge. Alrighty, my lovelies, I am back. I baked my pie, and boy, did it ever puff up in the oven. It went and I actually lost a part of it. This little piece went. So if you make this recipe, use a slightly larger pie plate. Mine is a 9-inch, or just don't use the full amount of batter. Maybe make a mini pie as well. Having said that, I'm still very pleased with how this turned out, and it couldn't have been any easier to make. Now for the moment of truth, let us see if this actually did its impossible feat of separating into 3 separate layers. Let's find out. This looks so beautiful. So this has been cooling now for about an hour, so it's about at room temperature. And look at that. That's amazing! So you've got the coconut on top with this kind of golden crust on top. You've got this middle, and it actually formed a crust. Look at that. That's a crust. It makes its own crust. That is so stinking cool. It actually makes its own distinctive layer of a crust. I thought, oh yeah, it'll probably separate, but that really is a separation. There is a crust there. Amazing. And then you've got this kind of golden layer of coconut on top. Okay. Wow, that was great. Okay, let's go ahead and taste this pie. There's the crust. Amazing, it made its own crust. Gosh, that's so cool. I love science. Alrighty, itadakimasu. That's pretty great. If you like coconut, you will love this dessert. It's buttery, it's rich. It's still at room temperature, so it's eggy. If you don't like eggy custards or tarts, I would say have this cold. That often happens with tarts and pies that have eggs in them. For example, if you make a pumpkin pie, it can have an eggy flavor if you eat it at room temperature, but once you have it completely cooled, you don't taste it any longer. I happen to like that. It tastes rich and delicious to me. I like the textures that are going on in this pie. You've got the desiccated coconut on top. That gives it a little bit of texture. You've got that great coconutty flavor. You've got that really strong buttery flavor. The inside of the pie is very soft and custardy, but then you've got the strands of coconut in there, which give it a little bit of bite. So while this pie did indeed form its own crust, it does not have the texture of, say, a crust of an apple pie or a pumpkin pie. It's not short, flaky, crumbly, or dry. It's a little bit more pancakey. It definitely does form a crust, and it is distinctive from the filling, but it's got a different texture. The edges of the coconut get nice and crispy and toasty. Really great texture and flavor. Delicious. Great little pie. And so easy to make. So there you have it, the impossible pie that is indeed quite possible. If you love coconut, you must try this recipe. If you like making an easy pie, then you definitely have to make this recipe, because I've never made a pie any easier than this one. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and big thanks to Simple Health. If you'd like to try Simple Health for free, click the link down below or head over to simplehealth.com/Emmy or use the code Emmy at checkout. Thanks again for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye!